Hey everyone, it's Khalil here, and we are back, as promised, with more games versus Mystic Monarch. And this series, he's going to be playing a comic book. I'm once again playing generic, and this comic book is quite interesting. I'll try to explain how it all works and how to play against it. So, here we open both with towers, and as I mentioned in the last video, you want to get down to the side, flight and protection shield. Here I go for a slightly different approach, pebble down in the middle of the map, because I know that the middle of the map, if I have some room there, then it's going to be a bit safer than the sides of the map. The reason is because if I go down in where I pebbled, I'm free, I'm not able to be commented. But if I go down here, I have to use a turn to put like a tree above my head or put a spirit above my head to be protected from comment. So he knows that. He knows that the mid-map is where I want to be, and he auras it off. He goes for a aggressive gate, and here I have to use a spirit, or maybe tree would have been fine as well, but I used it to block off the wormhole. And so I have to go for a spirit there to basically tank the comet, or dissuade him from it, but he uses it anyway. It doesn't do damage to me, thankfully, and I have a couple options here. One would be to flash the land in and just create a little bit of a safe haven there on the left side of the map. But I decide instead to go aggro. I'm just full, balls to the wall. I'm just saying, you know what? I don't care. We're going to just go after him. But this is going to bite me in the ass here because I know he has Deluge, and I just went for it anyway. And now my flight is down. I can't get to him. I have to use another turn to tower, and his comet is coming off cooldown, right? 4 turns now. And so I'm on, basically, there's a ticking time bomb, which is comet coming, and so I have to just recklessly attack him. Thankfully, he doesn't have Mudball in this book, which is nice. It's hard to fit that into comic books. But yeah, I gotta just keep pebbling all his towers before Comet comes back and I get hit for 150. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm waiting for a retreat turn where he teleports away. Okay, great. Now I have some breathing room. I'm gonna be able to tree above my head, protect myself from Comet, and get some defense going. Or, why play defense if you can stay on the offense, right? Okay, I choose to shield there, which is sensible. And he summons the giant, which is a good move. But here I'm seeing a line. Maybe I can do a little bit of damage to him with the ray, and I'm setting up a spell of a Boulder variety, SpongeBob style. It's not a boulder, it's a rock. You're gonna see me throw it here. Perfect lob. Let's go. Let's go. Man, very clutch. 34 health now he has, and since that comet nerf, which was a while ago, but it was needed because you could do like 200 damage with comet while flighted. It only does 50, so I'm pretty safe. And I get a pebble off, sink him, but still he's got 2 aerials. I can't get mech arrow to him yet, and I've got to be careful about this snow. If I just stayed over that, then I get hit by the snow, fall to the ground, and then he's able to comet me. Although he would have had to tower because he was at 9 health, because the aura would have killed him. But, potentially, giving him a chance. Let's say the comet could have potentially killed even. That would have been rare, but it's possible. And so, yeah, I know he's so low here, but I still have to be a bit careful. You see, now I'm deflighted and he's got comet up, so I can't just pebble down. I have to tower. And if he burns his comet to detower me, then I think that's okay. Here, can I get a pebble off? I detowered. What am I going for? Oh, I'm just going for the win. Do I get it? Oh, 4 health! I don't know, maybe Pure might have to explain this to me, but there's something called the Ghost Pebble in this game now, where, oh, he goes for the water ball. Sorry, oh man. I was botching that with the explanation, but he goes for the water ball and I fall on a little ice cube or snowflake or whatever you want to call it from the comet and win the game. My gosh. But what I was going to say is that there's been like a ghost pebble in the game where you used to be able to do 10 damage uh, past a tower. So you detower someone and then do 10 damage to them with pebble. But sometimes, not always, you lose a pebble and it only does 5 damage. Why? I have no idea. And I think that it should just go back to doing 10 consistent damage where you don't just lose a pebble in the tower somewhere. So, if Pure, you're watching this, an explanation would be cool. But for now, we're on to the next game. Okay, so we're here, and he once again is playing the Comet Mix. Sylph turn 1 is common because let's say I push him with Protection Shield, then he's going to just respond with the Sylph Arrow. And that has pretty good knockback. Sometimes it can even knock you all the way to the far side of the map, and in 7 seconds that can be annoying because you can't really traverse much of the map in 7 seconds. So he's going to tower after I mech arrow the Sylph. And like I said, no point in staying up top and pressuring too much. When you do that with generic, it often spells trouble for you because the strength of generic is the defense. So he goes for the wormhole, and maybe that's a good tree. I think it might be possible for him to summon a giant next to him and jump through it. Wormhole's tricky because tree doesn't really counter it in most situations. Although in this situation, maybe it works okay. He might have to detower, summon a giant, put the giant on top of him, and then jump the giant through. Okay, no, he can actually summon it through. So it doesn't even counter. And I just drained that giant off, which is great. But notice that it had gravity. So I have to be careful. You can't just flash off a giant if they come through a wormhole unless they're on the very edge of the map. And so that giant was pretty heavy. Here now it's a bit awkward. Like, do I have my tree back? I could use that. But like wormhole is a one-way portal, just in case you all haven't really seen that spell very much in your games. It's a newer spell. It's a one-way portal, so I can't go through and like hit him with a clock or a mega. He always has the threat to come through and sanctuary me. So that's why he water balls and he's safe. So I choose to go for an aura, but he can still jump through. Maybe he'll be stunned? I'm not sure. I think he would. So he goes for the man trap to absorb the aura so that next turn he can go through. But I knew this, and I knew I would get my tree back, and so I tree him. He's really pushing for this sanctuary, and so I'm just going to try to prevent that. I put the spirit there to prevent him from coming down. And now it's again, I'm in an awkward position. Preventing the sanctuary, maybe I just move my spirit out of the aura and deflight and tower. That might be an option. Or just scoot down and stay flighted, flash, make some space, allow the sanctuary, and then respond with the pebble. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. I'm seeing a couple lines. I'm not sure exactly what's best. I keep the spirit in the aura, which is not ideal. And yes, okay. So I just allow the sanctuary. Sometimes you have to allow certain moves by your opponent. That's an important consideration too, especially in high level play. What you'll see sometimes is allowing a move so that that move then goes on cooldown, and then you just kind of reset the cycle of cooldowns. Ooh, check out that flash. If y'all haven't seen my flash guide, it's a few years old now, but still very current and helpful, usable, instructive. Check that one out. Study that. That was nice. Very nice flash there. What's annoying though is that he can always go back to that wormhole and then threaten a sanctuary coming through and sanctuarying me, sanctuarying off my shields. Of course, I don't have shields now, but health-wise, I'm looking good. Looking pretty strong here, and because of that health advantage, I'm thinking, oh, can I pressure a bit? But this aura is going to be a bit annoying Maybe an extend smash there hits me for damage. He's going to get that undead giant soon. Okay, he just goes for a drain. I don't know if that's a good move or not. Maybe he could summon a man trap instead. Just not prevent, but discourage me from pebbling. And again, it's kind of an awkward position. I don't want to go through the portal because my prots will continue to get ticked, and I only have 50 of them. And you really need prots against this comic book. So I'm again in a little bit of an awkward spot. I choose to do the aura. I know that he can always sanctuary it off, but I just didn't really have too many options. I guess I could have flashed. I didn't need to aura there. I could have just made more space. That probably would have been better. Here I'm just going to kill the giant, right? That's a sensible move. And, okay, yeah, he's just going to bring out a frost giant. One thing, too, that I think about constantly when I'm playing this book, which I've played this book a lot, is if he's in a sanctuary, he can't wormhole me because there's no space. And also, even if there was space, if he was out in the open, I don't know if does it spawn above the sanctuary radius or not. So you could potentially do it, but the way he is around land, he doesn't have enough room. And so I think I protection shield there, and he's just going to drain up. And that's another threatening, annoying thing about this book, is I did a lot of work to get him down to like 150, and now, because I can't really get to him to pressure, since he auraed my portal, he's just going to drain all the way back up to 250. So that's a really annoying thing about this book, is that if you kind of let him set up far away from you, then it's going to be tough to close, and they have a lot of recovery. Whereas I don't have minions to just summon and drain if I get off to a bad start and maybe get commented. So the one thing here I'm doing good, though, is that I have a nice middle of the map area where I can just call my home, and be protected from comet, protected from all oncoming damage. So also in this book is Maelstrom, which is not a threat when I'm in this middle of the map area. But it takes several turns to set something like this up. So I was fortunate to be able to do that. And I'm just now in the portal. I think while I'm in the portal, I'm in the driver's seat. I can take some aura ticks now because I'm at such a high protection shield. And even though he drains, I'm just going to spam Pebble. Just Peb. Just Peb. And we're going to slowly get him down. And okay, he's going to do that same quote-unquote trick that I mentioned earlier. You're just going to teleport to the side that your opponent is, and then the following turn, if they're in a portal, they're going to go to the opposite side. So I stay in the portal and tree him. Don't know if that's good. The reason I stayed is because, well, I'm worried about Comet. I could have also just gone down below this tree, right? And, been protected, but then I'm thinking, okay, maybe he snowballs me, but I have to move down the following turn anyway, so I am going to do that. Do I maybe mudball or no? Okay, I just try to get out of range of the snowball and just chip him. And you'll notice too, kind of annoying, the blizzard from the frost giant, which is just there with every summon of a frost giant. Oh, let's see what I can do here. Mega Boulder and get off 80 or 90 damage. But as I was saying, the blizzard, the snow goes through the portal. I don't know why it took me so long to say that, but it uses the portal, and that's pretty annoying. So I set up a new portal here. And if you're enjoying this video so far, why don't you take a portal to the subscribe button, and that way you'll be able to stay in touch with how I am making progress toward 2K. Would appreciate it. Thanks everyone for the support. So now I'm up a ton. 116 prots. His sanctuary's down. I can press. That's the only reason that I can press. Well, I mean, I could even eat a sanctuary here, but why eat 116 prots when you don't need to, right? So I'm just going to pebble spam. Again, he gets into that panic mode, and Qs. So looking pretty strong here now. That portal was nice, and even if he aura'd, I could go through and just apply some pressure since I'm up so much health. And so I'm just going to spam Pebble, and you'll see here, I think that he has 3 towers. So Ice Tower, Sanctuary, he pulls out, and I think he had Clock Tower in one of the books, maybe this one too, but 3 towers is nuts. Very nuts, very annoying. So he's down to 16 health. I can't quite close on him. It's a little awkward at this point. He just goes for an aura, a little bit of a throwaway turn. I don't quite have enough time to get to him, so I just prot. And looking like it's going to be a close finish. I might not be able to clutch it out. Don't leave yet. He could come back. So I'm going to go through the portal and stay there and just pebble. Just create a path for me. You might think, well, that pebble was terrible. And you would be right if the goal was to damage him. But I'm just trying to create a path to get to him. Okay, terrible movement there. Holy shit, that was just horrendous. But I still get it off, and he's at 1 health. So that time, it looked like both the pebbles did hit, so there was no ghost pebble. He doesn't have much to do. He queues under duress, and I drain him for the win. Nearly 250'd. If you include the prots, maybe 400'd. Okay, here we are in the 3rd game, and once again, as promised, he is playing the comic book. I don't know why I'd offer a draw here. Maybe I was expecting to get someone else, or just annoyed that I have to play his comic book. Who knows? It is annoying to play, so if you were in my position, I think you would understand. Here I'm going to pebble down. Favorable map gen, I think, for me. I've got a lot of mid-map room, and luckily for me, he actually helps me out a bit with the water ball. Later in the game, if I'm threatened by Comet, I have a second spot that I can go. And here you're seeing the great annoyance of this book, which is just simply wormhole into Frost Giant spam. By Frost Giant spam, I don't mean Frost Giant, Frost Giant, Frost Giant, but I mean Frost Giant and then Snowball, Smash, Snowball, Smash, Snowball, Smash. So what you really have to do is use a lot of your muds to basically fill up his minion slots, and he ends up with basically just useless minions. It's a bit of an awkward situation here. He could smash off my prots. I'd prot there anyway. Maybe gating below the Frost Giant would have been better than protection shielding. But then I'm worried maybe he would be able to close the gap there. He wormholes into this middle area, so that's not ideal. And I would say this start is not good. At least I'm protected from Comet, so I can kill this giant. But as you can see, it's very tricky to manage the opener from this book. If you're not careful, you can easily blunder your health away. Luckily though, because he wormholed to the middle, the wormhole's now not in my face, and so he needs to wait a few turns before he can re-wormhole closer to me. And so I'm gonna just drain that so that I have more mobility, and I've got the spirit there if I ever need to windshield or block him off from advancing. I'm not sure why he re-wormholed just basically in the same spot that he was before, so I decided to tree him, and of course, like I said earlier, you can't really tree off the wormhole in almost any situation, but I treed him so that he can't move, and now I'm going to try to build my prots. We'll see how this works. I think I'm pretty stable now. The only thing that is annoying is, yeah, when I am hit by the aura, I really don't have a lot of space, and so I have to burn a mud on him instead of his giant. Could come back to bite me in the ass later. We'll see. But for now, he doesn't have space to re-wormhole. He needs a turn to summon another giant. I'm just gonna chill. We're fine. I'm stalling. And I'm not sweating as much at this point. I was a little worried early on. The opener wasn't the best, but like I said, I probably could have teleported down low instead of protection shielding in my tower, and then he had so many options to be able to deal with the protection shields. He went with the aura. Um, and now I'm just going to go for a portal. Here, I mean, he could Sylph Arrow me and deflight, but I get lucky. Yeah, that's a tough turn. Maybe I would have to run away and flash out some more space, and then he just water balls. But maybe I position my Sylph or my Spirit a little bit closer to me so that he can't water ball. Not sure exactly, but I killed the Sylph, and now I've got an aura in between him and me, so he can't exactly press that hard. He does have Maelstrom threat though, and I know this, but I don't have my, I have my gate up, so I think it's okay. I can allow a sink. Fortunately, I don't get sunk, and I'm able to once again build my prots. Now I have a little bit of space, and waterballing through a tree turn after turn is not necessarily the most efficient, so I'm feeling decent about that. So he waterballs over the tree, a solid move there. And now we're pretty much locked into a, I would say stalemate at this point, so long as none of us blunder hugely. And here I'm going to go through the portal and go for a pebble, but I'm not in the portal, no! I'm going to get hit for huge damage here. He's running away, and he hits me with Comet. Unfortunately for him, it only does 50 on flighted targets now that it was nerfed. And I knew that, but I still think it's a blunder to allow that Comet. So, now, let's see. He's going to tower, I'm going to tower. Maybe my flight prot is not up because he used the Comet and he was able to chip me down. And I think that's good. If I see him aura when I haven't used prot, then I can run away out of it and prot myself. I would have liked to get a little bit further away though. He actually sanks me off of my shields. Oh god. I blundered so hard there. And what is that move? He can just water ball me into the water if he's lucky. But he maelstroms again and he gets unlucky again. Man, I just needed to go a little bit further away from him with the prot and I would have been fine. He water balls me. I think that's fine. I just run. And then I can use my tree to create some land. But I'm maybe still somehow surviving. Okay. I've got my windshield. That water ball won't hit me, thankfully. I'm just going to tower. I still have the windshield up. I can threaten a pebble next turn if I move the spirit. Yeah, okay, so he doesn't take the spirit, which is good. And do I run? I do run. Do I have prot? I do have prot. Okay, I'm asking 20 questions here. But that's looking good. Look at that little snow snow tower there. Oh, he gets so unlucky there with the sanctuary. It needed to be just like a pixel over. It needs to be in contact with the center of the player. And then I pebble him and he water balls himself into the water. Did he mean to drain there? Drain sink himself? Because he had gate up. That would have been better. But he's in range of Mega Boulder and I'm able to close the gap and get a Mega off. So he does have 3 towers, so it's not completely lost quite yet. But a cheeky little trick there. You can go all the way up next to an ice castle and just aim for the very rightmost corner of it, and always pebble straight down almost to without any knockback, and it will detower an ice tower in very close quarters. Same thing with clock tower. You just aim for that base of it that juts out just a little bit, and you can get a pebble in very close quarters as well. So as I said, he's got his 3 towers. I just got to spam pebble through all of them, and I should be able to close out this game. So you can kind of see how that makes me sweat in the early game if you allow like a sanctuary or maybe you don't have good map gen, or he's able to get a Frost Giant through a wormhole early. That's really tough to deal with. But here, luckily, I had great map gen, and I'm able to now close the game with a bit of luck on my side, I will admit. Here I'm going to go for a Pebble, and it's looking like checkmate, folks. His towers are out, so he's going to run away to the best of his ability. Ice Shield, and he's got nothing. So that's GG, and oh, great play by me. I just give him a fighting chance. I tried to go for like an extend, and he goes for a sink there, doesn't quite work, and I'm able to get the victory. All right, that was the 3 games that we played with Comet, and a very interesting matchup, Comet versus Generic. I really don't like playing this book because you have a small margin for error when you're playing, and I guess that is true with him as well. If he gives me any breathing room, then I'm able to be very defensive. But some openers, if you're not careful, if you're not able to pebble down, get some mid-map space, prevent the wormhole Frost Giant shenanigans, it can be very tricky. But good games to Mystic Monarch. I hope you all enjoyed, and be sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.